Lana was walking along a winding road in the quiet suburbs, the sun low in the sky, casting golden streaks through tall trees. Everything felt oddly familiar, though she had never been there before. Then came the whisper, a soft but urgent cry for help. It came from a cabin, an old wooden one nestled at the edge, surrounded by pines. The voice echoed through her. A silhouette of a young girl stood in the distance, beckoning her forward, her hand outstretched. Lana awoke, her heart pounding. For as long as she could remember, she had been a heavy sleeper, so deep, in fact, that she rarely dreamed. But that all changed on this cold night of August, though it was vivid. She brushed it off as a stress. Her job as a paralegal had been wearing her thin, and her recent move back to her childhood town of Windermere had left her disoriented. But when the same dream returned the following night and the next, it became harder to ignore. Every detail remained constant. The curved road, the faded green sign that read Willow End Lane, the peeling white mailbox with the number 142, and the cabin beyond. The girl's face was always hidden by her long dark hair, but her presence was calming, not frightening. Still, the cry for help became more desperate. By the fifth night, Lana was no longer afraid. She was intrigued, compelled even. Windermere had a quiet charm, quaint shops, wide streets, and an air of time standing still. Lana had grown up here, but the suburbs, especially the far reaches, were unfamiliar to her. She had no memory of Willow and Lane, but something in her gut insisted it was real. On a bright Saturday morning, armed with a thermos of coffee and her car keys, Lana drove out of town, letting her instincts guide her. She followed the roads as she had in her dreams, taking a left past the church with the crumbling bell tower and a right after the orchard with the rusted swing set. Then she saw it, the faded green sign, Willow End Lane. Lana escaped a beat. She slowed the car, her eyes scanning the street. It was exactly as she had seen it. The golden sun piercing through trees, the road sloping downward ever so slightly. She drove slowly, passing houses that seemed frozen in the 60s, all until she reached the white mailbox 142. Her hands trembled slightly as she parked and stepped out. Birds chirped lazily in the background. The world seemed quiet, too quiet. She turned, and there she was. The girl from her dreams stood near the trees, head tilted slightly, long dark hair hiding her face. Lana's breath caught. The girl started walking, and Lana followed. After walking a few yards, the girl suddenly stopped and headed towards the trees. Then she slowly raised her arm and pointed toward the cabin. It stood weathered and worn, its wooden panels gray with age, fungi creeping up the sides. The door hung slightly ajar, creaking softly in the breeze. Despite the sunlight, the air around it felt colder. She pushed the door open fully, heart pounding in her ears. The inside was dim, dust motes dancing in the light that filtered through broken blinds. The floorboards groaned beneath her feet. Old furniture lay covered in sheets, a fireplace filled with ash. Everything looked abandoned except it wasn't. Then she heard it, the cry for help. It came from beneath her. Lana followed the sound, her eyes scanning the room until they landed on a rug in the center. She pulled it back to reveal a wooden hatch. Her fingers found the rusted handle and yanked. A narrow staircase led downward into darkness. Grabbing her phone for light, Lana descended slowly, the smell of damp earth and mold growing stronger. At the bottom, she found a small basement, bare stone walls, crates, and an old iron pot. A woman sat on the floor, wrists bound, face pale and thin, eyes wide with disbelief as she looked at her. Lana rushed forward and untied her, heart racing. The woman, no older than 40, shook her head slowly, tears streaming down her face. She said she did not know how long she had been there, weeks, maybe months. She was given food sometimes and told no one would ever find her. Lana helped her up and said, "We're getting out of here." They emerged from the basement into the golden light of late afternoon. The girl with the long dark hair was now gone. The police arrived within the hour. The woman, whose name was Ellen McCarthy, had been reported missing 3 months prior in a town 2 counties over. Her abductor, a drifter with a long record, had vanished weeks ago. Authorities found evidence he had been squatting in several abandoned homes, including the cabin. When Lana tried to explain how she had found Ellen, the officers exchanged skeptical glances. Ellen, however, looked at her with a strange, knowing gaze and told her she was guided and brought here. Ellen went on to say that she had seen the same girl in the dark before Lana came. Lana returned to the cabin weeks later. The town had boarded it up, declared it unsafe. She stood at the edge of the trees waiting. The girl never reappeared. Back home, Lana scoured Windmere's archives, old news stories, and town records. She eventually found a faded article from 1984. A girl named Mariah Tinsley had gone missing at the age of 13, last seen near Willow End Lane. Her body was never found. The photo in the article made Lana shiver. Long dark hair, wide, solemn eyes. Mariah. To this day, Lana doesn't dream much, but sometimes when the air grows cold and the wind rustles through trees, she hears the softest whisper at the edge of sleep. A whisper not of fear, but of gratitude. And every so often, she finds herself driving without direction, guided by a sense of knowing, as though somewhere someone else might need help. She never understands how or why, only that she listens now and follows the dream.